back with Nonna Annunziata Masullo. E di dove sei, signora? Where are you from?
Di Sant'Angelo dei Lombardi, provincia di Avellino.
Provincia. How cute is she? So she's the real deal. I mean, can you tell? And we're going to be making another Easter favorite from Campania. We're going to be making a classic pizza rustica. And it's kind of like a quiche and a calzone had a beautiful baby. And this is what it is. So we're going to start with our crust. Allora incominciamo
con la farina.
With some flour.
2,5 pondi di farina.
This is 2.5 pounds of all-purpose flour.
Farina. Si apre.
She's going to make a well.
Well,
yeah.
Oh, mi rompi 2 uova, piacere.
2 eggs to start. She wants to do eggs one at a time because, you know, as we learned in our last demo, dough is a little temperamental. So it depends on a lot of factors. We don't want to add too much moisture before we know how it's going to react.
Una cucchiaia di yeast.
We're going to have a spoonful of yeast. This is the active dry yeast. Activate it.
That's all.
Okay.
That's
Prego. You're welcome. A little bit of black pepper. And salt.
Mezzo cucchiaio di teaspoon di salt.
Teaspoon, okay.
E ora.
And now we start pouring.
E ora io comincio a preparare.
Yes. E tu mi dici quando basta. She's going to tell me when to stop. And she's mixing the dough already in our little well that we've made.
Basta un po'.
Okay. And this is going to be a really nice egg dough. And we're going to do a nice glaze on top of it with an egg wash so it becomes really golden brown and shiny.
Levo un po' per sotto.
Okay. That is going to be reserved for the bottom. Da quando tempo che cucini, signora? How long have you been cooking?
50 anni.
50 years. This is a Michelin-starred chef over here. E tu quando hai incominciato a cucinare? Quando sei sposato o prima? When did you cook?
Avevo 9 anni.
She started cooking when she was 9 years old. Abbiamo finito con questo.
Sì.
And we're done rolling out our dough.
Questo
and
è finito.
This is dough that has already risen because this has to rise per 2 ore, right? 2 hours. This has to rise in a nice warm environment. So we're gonna set this, put it right here. And this is our dough that is already risen. Metto qua così?
Sì,
Whoa. Don't worry about it. Oh, it's all right. Okay. So this has to be kneaded again. Lo devi lavorare di nuovo, right? Just a little bit. I would be exhausted after. I'd need a week at the spa. You know. I'm so glad like both the recipes are very doughy today. I think.
Facciamo 2 parti, una per sopra e una per sotto.
Okay, so she's dividing the dough in half. One's going to go for the top layer. Now, I want to point out that this might look very familiar even if you're not from Campania, because I know that I'm from Puglia, and in Puglia we do the same thing, but we call it a scalcione, un scalcione. And it's basically just a stuffed savory pie crust, stuffed with all different ingredients. This one.
Dobbiamo allargarla.
And she's just rolling out the dough because it's a big pie.
Tu mi prendi questo e metti un po' di farina.
Okay, we're just flouring. Okay, our plate here. This is what it's going to cook on. So this is really cool. Since you can't possibly stretch this over this board since it's too small, what she's doing, she's rolling it over the rolling pin and kind of rolling it out over the rolling pin against it. So it's coming out the width of the rolling pin, and that's how she gets it so big. I mean, otherwise you would need a really large prep space that most people don't have. Perché ma i giovani di oggi, sai, è difficile che fanno le cose così, ma tua figlia è brava, hai visto? Per me la speranza è quasi quasi, è quasi morta. Just telling.
Questo dobbiamo fare. Ma dobbiamo fare la ricotta.
And now the ricotta.
Sì, qua.
And we have all of our ricotta in here already. Quando è questo? £2? Più di un pound?
No, più sai di un
Pounds and a half of ricotta.
Questa è ricotta salata.
Some ricotta salata.
C'è il mischio.
Beautiful.
2 eggs.
Take another 2 eggs. Our eggs are going to be our binder. Oh. Questo.
È duro.
That was hard.
Da uno spoon.
Okay.
Non mi metti un po' di prezzemolo.
And we're going to add a little bit of fresh parsley.
Pure tutto.
Oh, tutto.
Non metto un po' di sale, un po' di pepe.
Some salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Un altro po' di sale.
Not too far. It's salato. It's salato. Yeah. No.
That's it.
And that's it for now.
That's it now.
And we're going to
Poi
start.
vediamo se ci servono uova.
Okay.
Vediamo quando se ne attacca.
So you might need more eggs to bind all of this together. So what she does is first she adds a little bit and then she sees. She's very patient, you know, very little by little.
Ora assaggiamo per vedere se
Oh, we're going to
salata.
taste it.
Yeah.
We're going to taste this. Really? I don't, but there are eggs in this. You know, I think her immune system is just so strong by now. It's not even. Non ha paura lei con le uova?
No.
No, le uova crude?
No.
No?
Non fa niente. Non mangiate tanto.
She does this all the time.
Adesso questa è finita. È fatta.
Fatta.
Sì.
Okay, so we're done with this part of our filling. So now we're going to roll out the top of our pizza rustica. And again, she's going to stretch it over the rolling pin. If you guys want to come up and see, because this is kind of an interesting thing if you're in the back and you can't see. She's rolling it over, she's making kind of like a jelly roll out of the dough. And then she's stretching it widthwise with her hands. So it comes out longer, almost the length of the entire rolling pin. Now all you have to do is remember to keep flouring it so it doesn't stick to the actual rolling pin.
Vicino al pezzetto di legname.
So a ricotta salata. Oh, you got this from Pastosa. I love Pastosa. In Staten Island?
Yeah.
Right. Took a trip to Staten Island. She brought back some ricotta salata in a vacuum pack, so all the moisture stays inside. Otherwise, it can dry out rather quickly. And this is, they shaved it, and we're adding it to the mixture. Perché la ricotta salata? Why you use ricotta salata?
Per far venire la pizza buona, per far venire saporita e che sa buona, no?
Is that what?
Yeah.
Okay.
It tastes good.
Delicious. It tastes, because it tastes good. I mean, and this is a sheep's milk cheese. So the soppressata is going to go on top, pressed into our filling. So you're going to get a nice layer of soppressata, then our beautiful ricotta filling, along with the double crust, the double savory crust. It's going to be an amazing combination of flavors. And this is very, very typical of Campania, because Avellino is a little bit internal. So they don't use a lot of fish. They have a lot of sheep naturally, a lot of sheep farmers, a lot of pastori, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Ci sono molte pecore. Pecore ad Avellino.
Sì, sì.
Capre, goats, and sheep. So goats and sheep's milk are what was typically used in the region to make cheeses. And a lot of meat was found. So
Pork.
this is a pork
Beef.
soppressata.
Yeah, sì.
So this is what we're using, and this is another example of using what was typical of the region, using what they had around them. Take this here. So now she's just stretching out the bottom. Of the crust.
Prendiamo la ricotta.
Take our filling e lo spalmiamo, right?
La mettete in.
Okay, and we're gonna start filling our pizza rustica.
Mette tutto uguale.
You have to spread it very evenly. We're adding our soppressata slices on top.
Poi la mettiamo sopra.
Oh, wow. And it fits perfectly.
E poi la mettiamo per qua.
To get it to really stick together, you want to take a little bit of water and a brush, or you could probably use your fingers, and just lubricate the bottom half of it and then press it together, and it'll stick together and not open in the oven. Because obviously in the oven, the dough's going to puff up a little bit. So you risk, she's taking the yeasty water, but you can also just use water, plain water. So say you're not crazy about soppressata, you can do the ricotta filling and you can add anything else you like. You can make this vegetarian, you can add spinach, you can add a load of other things. The important thing is this crust that has a beautiful flaky texture, and it's still very savory at the same time, and it has a great crunch on the outside and it's still soft on the inside. And the ricotta filling, the ricotta salata, that adds, you know, different flavors of ricotta, because we used a regular cow's milk ricotta and the sheep's milk ricotta salata, so it's mixing those great flavors together. Ricotta salata is a lot stronger in flavor.
Mo si taglia questo un pochettino round.
So she's cutting it to make the shape nice and even.
Mo mi rompo un uovo per favore.
Okay. And now we're going to do our egg wash.
Yeah, ma no, su.
Just our egg white, our egg yolks, we're going to separate.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Per due.
Sì, due. Okay. And we're going to brush the egg yolk.
Sì, egg yolk.
E perché non si usa il bianco? Why don't you use the
No,
white?
perché poi non viene rosso, viene bianco.
No, because otherwise it's not gonna bake brown. It's gonna break white, she says. So. E questo per quanto tempo si cucina? How long do you bake this?
Maybe 25 minuti, 30, dipende il forno.
So
il
this
forno
takes-
è 350, mezz'ora.
This takes about a half hour at 350. But we don't have to wait a half hour because, thank you. This is one of the 10 we have already done, and it's gorgeous and it's shiny. This shines like a Ferrari, I swear. Look at this, this is gorgeous. Vedi, questo l'hai fatto tu.
Sì, sì.
You're responsible for this is
7
beautiful.
di queste.
7, 9.
9.
9 di queste. Beautiful, beautiful job, and thank you. We're so lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Mwah.